President Trump is going to leave Sunday, go to the Middle East to try to seal this 20-point peace deal. I have to say, I'm not crazy about our president being in that part of the world right now, but I get wanting to be present to make this happen. Hamas has been given a deadline of Monday to release all 48 hostages, dead and alive. Israel started with a cessation of hostilities, so there is a ceasefire in effect in Gaza right now. Will it last? What happens next? Here's what the president said just hours ago.
I think it'll hold. They're all tired of the fighting. Don't forget, you had October 7th, which was a horrible day, 1,200 people killed. But Hamas has lost 58,000 people. That's big retribution.
What happens Monday? What happens next? Joining me now is one of the members of those families that's waiting, Moshe Lavi. Okay, he's in Israel, so it's the middle of the night there. Thank you, Moshe, for being up late like this for us. He is awaiting the return of his brother-in-law. Okay. I also want Executive Director of the Urban Warfare Institute, John Spencer. He just returned from Gaza and Israel today. He was there with the IDF. It's good to have you both. Thank you very much. Moshe, how are you managing in the family, your hope versus your understanding of how tenuous this is?
Thank you for having me, Chris. As you said, I'm in Israel right now. I landed here this morning with my sister. We were in D.C. over the past few days, speaking with elected officials there, meeting the Trump administration. We had the privilege to speak with President Trump himself. He gave us a lot of hope this week. His administration gave us a lot of hope. And we believe that they're going to push for the implementation no matter what. And we trust them, that they know what they're doing and that the framework in place will allow Israel to achieve small victories and then prepare ahead for the threat.
So what does that mean, John? Obviously, look, if Monday happens, I heard the Prime Minister say we may not get back all the dead. How are we supposed to understand that? And how real do you think it is that this first phase happens? Because there's nothing without it.
I think it's real. I don't think we would have had the breakthrough moment, the handwritten letter to the president, the announcement. And it isn't just the United States, Israel, and Hamas. So many other countries were, Turkey was there, Egypt, Qatar flew in. I mean, this is different than all the others. So I'm pretty confident that the exchange will happen. The IDF did immediately pull it. As you know, I was there 2 days ago inside Gaza City with them fighting the fight. And then as soon as the deal kicked in, they moved back to the line immediately, starting the clock. I do believe that there may have to be some searching for the bodies just based on the extent of the rubble, and they have a plan for that. But there are a lot of questions, but I think the first part, I have a lot of hope and confidence and the joy that I'm seeing in Israel and in Gaza from the Palestinian people that we've turned here. This is actually an end of the fighting.
Hey, John, did you sense, of course, you were with the IDF, it's somewhat of a controlled experience, but the willingness of Palestinians for the next chapter, not just not getting bombed by Israel, but getting past Hamas into something that approximates a real government?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I was with the IDF in Gaza City, still active fighting, lots of fighting that was going on, but also getting briefings about the clans that have said enough is enough. The other representations, like we were just saying, that Hamas, of course, will try to play some card, and this is why every point of the 20-point plan is the path to peace. Not just the disarming that is critical, demilitarization, de-radicalization, the new school programs, the rebuilding, the International Stabilization Force. There are plans even to do it sector by sector to prevent that. And even if Hamas turned into an insurgency, this is a very thought through plan with a lot of stakeholders involved.
Moshe, how do you reconcile this ending, but the people who want Israel not to exist will almost certainly reform and be present there, and that now this plan calls for Israel to absolutely have less control over what happens on that side of the border?
I want to emphasize that the framework which, as John mentioned, starts with the release of all the hostages, insists that everything else is going to be gradual and negotiated upon. Israel is not withdrawing from the entirety of the Gaza Strip. It will have control over nearly 50%, per my understanding, of the territory, and then it will gradually withdraw. Only after the Palestinians will show their willingness to rise from the rubble and create a new society. If Hamas will be allowed to rule in Gaza again, we will return to this cycle of violence. And the Palestinians must understand that they need to have agency on their actions. They need to have agency on the political choices they make. Just like the people of Germany had agency following the Second World War. And they chose, despite the American occupation of Germany after the war and the de-radicalization program, they chose to start afresh with the international community. I hope the Palestinians will do the same. We have our own responsibility to allow them to prosper, to allow them to establish their own nation state eventually, but they have a share of responsibility as well. And I hope they'll take it, because in 2005, they had the opportunity to create Gaza as a haven in the Middle East, as a Singapore of the Middle East, and they chose to make it a Hamas rule territory.
Moshe, thank you for your eloquence, as always. I hope I get a message on Monday that your family has been reunited and that he is healthy and with his loved ones. I can't wait for that, and I hope it happens. John, thank you for the perspective. I'm glad you're back safe, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. I can't wait for me to
4 minutes and 30
return.
seconds. Yes, let me know, Moshe, and thank you. Best to your family.